Apartment neighbors pump their jam at 7:30 a.m. I connect my phone to their speakers. A little ween with your morning coffee, my good sir? So these idiots next door thought they owned the whole building. Every single morning at exactly 7:30, they'd blast their terrible techno music through paper-thin walls. I work night shifts at the hospital, so I usually don't get to sleep until around 5 a.m. You can imagine how thrilled I was to be woken up by their bass-heavy garbage just 2.5 hours later. At first, I tried the normal stuff, knocked on their door politely, explained my situation. The guy who answered looked like he hadn't showered in weeks, and just shrugged. "Building's not soundproof, dude. Deal with it." Then he literally shut the door in my face. I complained to the landlord 3 times. Each time he said he'd look into it, but nothing changed. These morons kept cranking their speakers every morning like clockwork. I started wearing earplugs, but you could still feel the vibrations through the floor. After 2 weeks of this torture, I was losing my mind. That's when I noticed something interesting. Their music would sometimes skip or change songs randomly, and I'd see them messing with their phones through their window. They were using Bluetooth speakers. I downloaded one of those Bluetooth scanner apps, and sure enough, there it was. Jake's Beats, showing up as an available connection. These geniuses hadn't even password protected their speakers. The next morning at 7:25, I was ready. I connected my phone to their speakers and waited. Right at 7:30, their terrible techno started up. I let it play for about 30 seconds, then hit pause on my phone. Silence. I could hear them through the wall going, "What the hell?" and fumbling around. They got their music back on, probably thinking it was just a glitch. I waited another minute, then switched their song to Baby Shark. The confusion in their voices was beautiful, but that was just the warm-up. The next day, I really went for it. When their morning concert started, I took control and switched to the most obnoxious music I could find. We're talking death metal, followed by opera, then some experimental jazz that sounded like cats fighting. Every time they tried to regain control, I'd switch to something even worse. Polka music, bagpipe solos, that song from the early 2000s about chocolate rain. They were getting so frustrated I could hear them arguing about whose phone was broken. On day 3, I decided to get educational. I queued up a playlist of self-help audiobooks about being considerate neighbors, mixed with some really aggressive death metal and random sound effects I found online. Crying babies, construction noises, air horns. The best part was when they tried to turn the volume down and I immediately cranked it back up. They had no idea what was happening. I could hear the girlfriend screaming at Jake to fix the stupid speakers. By day 4, they'd obviously figured out someone was messing with them because they kept trying to disconnect and reconnect. But every time they paired their phone again, I'd swoop in and steal the connection. It became this ridiculous battle of who could connect faster. That's when I discovered the nuclear option. Turns out their speakers had a feature where you could set a timer to automatically play music. So while they were at work, I'd connect and set their speakers to blast circus music at random intervals throughout the day. 2 p.m. elephant sounds, 4 p.m. carnival music, 6 p.m. the most annoying children's songs I could find. Their other neighbors started complaining to the landlord about the weird noises coming from their apartment at all hours. The landlord finally showed up and threatened to evict them if they couldn't control their music situation. The final straw was when I programmed their speakers to play a loop of that "It's a Small World" song for 6 straight hours while they were out. When they came home, I guess they'd had enough. I heard them screaming at each other, something crashed against the wall, and then blessed silence. The next morning, 7:30 came and went without a sound. I peeked out my window and saw them loading boxes into a moving truck. Apparently, they decided the apartment was haunted or something and needed to get out immediately. Jake's girlfriend was crying about how their speakers were possessed and kept playing weird music on their own. I almost felt bad watching them struggle with their mattress, but then I remembered 2 weeks of sleep deprivation and cranked up some victory music on my own speakers. They moved out that weekend. The new neighbors who moved in a month later are a quiet, elderly couple who bake cookies and always say good morning.